So as you may or may not know, the Calypso clone blew a head gasket not too long ago. So I needed to jump on this thing and fix it pretty quick. We have a head gasket on the car now and everything is good. So I didn't video any of that because it was one of those things I did like over a period of a couple days where I just come out, worked a little bit. So pretty common, we do it quite often around here, so there's no need in videoing everything. So now that we got the head gasket on the Calypso clone, there's a few things that we need to do to tidy this thing up. When I pulled my fans out, I realized that one of my connections had come loose. And it was from these little Amazon connectors right here, the little heat shrink type deal. They had been working really good up until this point, and I finally had a failure. So that kind of makes me a little weary of those, but that's okay. Today we're gonna solder these wires back in. We're gonna get the car buttoned up, then we're gonna fire this thing up and make sure everything is good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, throw the fans back on. I've got everything soldered up, we're good to go. All right, so we got our fans hooked back up again with our new wire soldered in. And let's see. Why is this so tight? All right, guys, let's see if everything works. Both fans are on, everything's looking good. Okay, now for the fun part, guys. This belt on this car is so aggravating with the tensioner. It pretty much sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pretty much sucks. So I've had enough of the way this belt fits. I think what we're gonna do is swap out this alternator pulley for the smaller pulley off the other alternator. That way we got a little bit more room because this is extremely too tight. So let me go ahead and do that now. We have our old alternator right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this off. Hopefully anyway. Just like that. All right, got that pulley off. Tell you what, let's go over here, clean this thing up a little bit because, well, it looks like crap. Guys, I'm telling you, it's all the little things that really matter. So we got that painted. We'll go ahead and let it dry up real quick like. All right, so while that's drying up, let's go ahead and talk for a few minutes on the way that I did this car. So the reason why we're doing things the way we're doing it with the Calypso, and we're not putting MLS gaskets and we're not putting head studs on it. Now, just so you know, for the record, this car does have ARP head bolts. So it does have reusable head bolts. I know they're not as good as studs, but that's what we've got. The reason why we're doing this is because this is a temporary fix. All I want to do is get this car back running again on the road, be able to drive it to the store, start it up, have fun with it, and then here in probably 2 or 3 months, more than likely we're going to go ahead and drop the new engine in it. So that'll be the Dart Block 347 stroker. Oh, and by the way, we've got a set of really nice heads coming for the car. So the 170 SVE heads that we have on the car right now, more than likely will end up on the 65 Fastback before it's all said and done. Possibly even this whole engine if we don't completely destroy it. Oh, fun fact. So Joe Nate was over the night that I was putting the head gasket on the car, and he looks down and he said, "This thing's bored 60 over." I said, "No, it's not." He said, "Yeah, it is. It's stamped right there on the piston." I said, "No way." Guys, this car has been bored 60 over. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's crazy that I didn't even pay attention to it. Myself, Andrew, nobody else other than Joe Nate has ever noticed it. But it also will explain why this car likes to run a little warmer than normal. But at the same time, it's a little disappointing because this car should run better than it does. It's not a completely bone stock engine, so it is what it is. So yeah, the whole time we thought this thing was bone stock, and at some point somebody rebuilt the engine and had to go 60 over on it. whatever. It's got a set of Speed Pro pistons in it, nothing crazy. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, that's why we threw this car together the way we did, and we keep patching it up, because I'm going to do it on a budget, right? What's the point of spending a bunch of extra money on this car? For what reason? We're going to pull all of the stuff out. So just for the record, if we were to put head studs on this new engine, they will not work on the Dart Block. The Dart Block takes 1/2-inch studs. Somebody mentioned the fact of using washers. That's what you use with 351 heads. So you can use a 7/16 stud on these engines with a bigger, like 351 Windsor head, basically cut for a 1/2-inch stud or a 1/2-inch bolt. That's what that is. That's what we have right now. We have the washers in there. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead, throw this on, see if we can get the car running. All right. So now that we have this pulley on, we should be able to get the belt on, no problem. So let's go ahead and try that now. Okay, so it's still a nightmare to get this belt on, but once you do, you have a pretty good bit of slack. The problem is with the 3G alternator, it doesn't want to swing enough. So, but anyway, we've got that on now. We just need to put our bar in. So we're gonna go ahead, put our turnbuckle in, but first I'm gonna clean this thing up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car up. I will let you guys know you're gonna hear a massive exhaust leak, and that's gonna be on the crossover pipe coming from the driver's side over to the turbo. Don't mind that. I'm gonna put the car on the lift later on today, fix all of that, button everything up, and burp the system. But for right now, we're gonna go ahead and bust it off, let you guys know that it does run and that the Calypso does live again. All right, so everything went good. I burped the system. Car seems to be doing fine. I have yet to drive it, but that is coming soon. So what I do want to remind you guys of is this car actually hydro locked on us. So yeah, believe it or not, you can come back from a lot. These cars are pretty resilient. Now the car didn't hydro lock under power. The car hydro locked after I went to spin it over, and it had sat for a little while, and the starter just wasn't strong enough to turn the car over. So with that being said, I just want to tell you guys, don't stress over something like this. Hopefully this is a little bit of encouragement for some of you guys that maybe you've had a similar issue and you thought your car was never gonna get finished. You thought you were gonna have to do a rebuild or something like that. Guys, you can throw a $30 head gasket on it and give it a try, right? It's nothing but time at that point. You never know. Your car may not be hurt as bad as you think. See, a lot of these people on the internet will have you believe if you blow one head gasket, you're gonna have to go replace the other. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's up to you. If you want to replace both of them, go ahead for some reassurance. So with that being said, do what you got to do to get your car back on the road. This thing may not last. I don't know. I mean, it's a gamble, but it was only a $30 gamble. So that's what I want you guys to keep in mind. All right, I'm going to go ahead, wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.